Of course I am. I'm paying rent here, and simply put, I'm poor. I'm not going to pay rent to live somewhere else. My parents would unfortunately charge me rent if I was living there because they're not as well off, and that's an extra burden to them, and rightfully they should. So of course I'll be here. I don't know what I'll be doing as far as work. I know last summer I worked for the Organic Trade Association in Sackville. But hopefully I can get the same thing. I don't know if I will, but I'll be finding work in Sackville because this job, you need to do it over the summer, especially with the provincial election mandated for September 17th. There's going to need to be a lot of work done over the summer, and it's going to be volunteer work. You're not going to be getting paid anything for it. So, that's where I'll be.
I also plan to stay here over the summer. I have a place, and I think I have a job lined up. But I'm actively searching as well. But I will be staying no matter what.
Follow-ups? No? And our final question.
Right. Today I was speaking to our university president, and he was actually a VP external in his day, so you guys are on the right track. Nice job. And he spoke about being on lobbies, provincial and federal. And he mentioned that it's primarily sort of a somewhat self-centered event, as the external goes off to these events and represents the university and comes back. And largely the university community knows nothing about what they've come back with and presented to them. And so, sort of in the interest of self-interest, I'm wondering if you had to choose between CASA or the MBSA, and I know these are not mutually exclusive things, but if you had to choose, which would you choose and why?
Okay.
So the short answer would be the MBSA. I mean, I'm a geography student, so I understand the geography of time and scale. The farther you get away from Sackville, the less and less information is going to be trickled back to the students. And it's just the question of what I said before. I mean, the stuff that happens in Sackville affects all of us. The stuff at the provincial level affects most of us. The stuff at the federal level, it does affect all of us indirectly, but there's always that scale between getting that information back. And that's one of the big things in the VP portfolio is communicating that information effectively.
Yeah, that's a great question. And as a poli-sci student and knowing about the British North America Act, our Constitution, I know that education is provincial jurisdiction, and that the legislation for education is coming on that level. And of course I would have the NBSA as a priority, but federal advocacy is a very close second, because although the provinces make a lot of the closer to the ground decisions on exactly how education is delivered, the money's coming from the feds. The money's coming for student loans from the federal government. As far as things, a lot of the access for international students, you'll have the federal government involved. Research, the federal government's involved. So it's hard to say one or the other, but if it came down to like a dead choice, we have to go with the NBSA, because they are the ones legislating closest to the ground. We'll see their effects most immediately.
Follow-ups?
And as a response to that, I'd say that the MBSA does talk to CASA as well and sends delegates to CASA as well. So it's not that, and again, the mandate of the VP External Affairs is to lobby all levels of government. So it's not to say that if we don't join CASA, we can't do that anymore. We can do it through the MBSA, we can do it on our own, we can do it through talking to CASA. All of that is important.
And I should maybe just clarify something, and it's not Mark's fault, because the MBSA website has been down for 8 months because they've got a crappy web developer. But they don't actually do federal lobbying, they stick with provincial. They're very focused, just as CASA is very focused on federal stuff. So the MBSA doesn't send people to CASA conferences. They send people to, we have this year, but not always, sent people to partners conferences where you bring in the similar organizations from Nova Scotia, Ontario, Alberta, and those are sort of where you get where you can work together on the federal side.
Okay.